1938. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus Hyundai, home of the Kona electric vehicle, an electric heart with an SUV soul. Test drive yours today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on your news leader, another man self-surrenders in Saturday's shooting incident at Paseo. Plus, a residential road that is littered with junk cars, beds, and trash is just one of many illegal dump sites in Dededo. And the Hagu Foundation is launched focused on suicide prevention and awareness. These stories and more right now on KUAM News Primetime. Hafa and good evening, everyone. I'm Hannah Devonzo, and thank you for tuning in to your news leader. New safety measures are being taken following a shooting at Paseo in Hagatna over the weekend. Here's more. 21-year-old Evan Babauta Pangilinan and 20-year-old Kyle Joaquin Topaznia self-surrendered to authorities for their involvement in a shooting during a car show at Paseo in Hagatna Saturday at midnight. Pangilinan alleged individuals had bashed his vehicle and swung a machete at him. In return, both he and Topaznia fired several gunshots in the air. Hours before the incident, Director of Parks and Recreation Rocky Alcantara claimed he notified the police around 9:30 p.m. after witnessing an alarming amount of people at the car show.
I was there at the game last Friday, and when I saw a lot of cars coming in, I had to call 911 and ask them to go over there and figure out, find out what's happening.
The parking lot is often used as a place for drag racing and requires a permit, which they did not have.
I don't know why they, decided that the parking lot over there is a good place to, do drag racing and figure eight racing and all that. I just don't figure that out. I mean, we're utilizing that parking lot every time there's a baseball game here.
The incident has set new safety protocols in place.
Going forward, because of the incident last Friday, decided that the parking lot area will be closed at 6 p.m.
In addition to closing early, park rangers will be patrolling the areas after hours, among other security measures. Chief of the Guam Police Department, Stephen Ignacio.
He is working with me. We are going to provide him with some barricades that he can use to block access off to the Paseo.
In connection to the crime, Pangilinan is being charged with possession of a firearm without a firearm ID card, attempted criminal mischief, reckless conduct, discharge of firearms, and disorderly conduct. Topaznia is being charged with reckless conduct and discharge of firearms. 24-year-old Mason Christopher Skay DeSoto was arrested for possession of a Schedule to Control substance as a third-degree felony after being pulled over at a traffic stop on Route 14 in Tamuning. At around 7:05 p.m. on May 26, DeSoto encountered a traffic stop and was asked his consent to search his vehicle. Officers conducted the search and discovered a small black pouch in the passenger side. It was reported that the contents included a Ziploc bag containing methamphetamine, glass pipes, plastic bags, and plastic straws. While DeSoto claimed the pouch did not belong to him, he later admitted to owning the drugs. Altogether, officers seized a total of 1.17 grams of methamphetamine. And 42-year-old Jonathan Peter Cepeda Ninetti was arrested on May 26 after being pulled over in Agana Heights. At around 11:09 p.m., he was pulled over by an officer after he failed to make a complete stop at a stop sign. Ninetti was then identified to have an outstanding bench warrant that was issued for him. He was transferred to Agate Precinct Command for processing and was about to depart to Central Precinct when the officer discovered a clear baggie containing methamphetamine on the right rear passenger floor. Before he could see the item, he claimed that it wasn't his. However, the officer reported prior to assuming duty, he conducted a search of his vehicle and found no contraband. Additionally, the officer also reported that there was no one else who had been in the back of the vehicle during his tour of duty. Ninetti was charged with possession of a Schedule to Control substance as a third-degree felony. And 37-year-old Bruce Lee Cruz Uggan was arrested for 2 counts of disorderly conduct on January 22nd and criminal mischief as a misdemeanor on May 28th. According to court documents, the first incident had officers respond to a complaint at the Guam Museum in Hagatna. Uggan was asked to leave the premise but refused and pulled out a pair of nunchucks and started swinging at them. The second incident officers responded to was a harassment call Also in Hagatna, where Ugin was reported to be in possession of a hammer and swinging at individuals present. There was reported damage to the cathedral's basilica doors and Guam Museum's metal gate and some garbage containers. He was booked and confined. And this morning around 10:30 a.m., units from the Guam Fire Department along with Guam EPA and Office of Civil Defense responded to a deep-seated trash fire in Agana Heights along Route 7 across Naval Hospital. According to GFD spokesperson Kevin Riley, DPW brought in an excavator to assist in moving debris in order for firefighters to reach the blaze. Riley confirmed that the fire was under control at 11:54 and units were secured a little after 2 p.m. And session resumed this morning with lawmakers going through the second reading bill. For almost 2 hours, Bill 281 was discussed. The bill would provide $609,000 to the Guam Election Commission year's election. As KUAM reported, the GEC had wrote a letter to their oversight chair, Senator Joe San Agustin, requesting supplemental funding. San Agustin introduced legislation that would provide the needed funds to allow the GEC to conduct this year's primary election and in-office voting. Senator James Moylan asked GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan to break down how the funds will be dispersed.
For early voting, we have the venue. The venue will cost us about $15,000 a month. We will hire 20 personnel to operate early voting. We will also have to provide security. So we will have GPD. Our supplies run up to about $12,000 for early voting only. We have ballot stock that we have to buy, and we have to prepare. We have to prepare for 2 ballot sheets. So that's 150,000 ballots that we have to buy.
If the bill is approved and funds are made available, Pangilinan says a contract would be signed with the Westin Resort, in which their mezzanine will be the site for early voting. She adds that the GEC had been working with the hotel to ensure a smooth process for accessible voting for voters with disabilities and who may have difficulty getting to the mezzanine area. Early voting would start July 28th for the primary, and for the general would be October 10. And over in the NMI, a stunned courtroom as Lieutenant Governor Arnold Palacios fell to the ground mid-testimony at the Superior Court during a hearing for the Attorney General's criminal charges against Governor Ralph Torres. According to a statement on social media from his gubernatorial campaign page, Palacios was in court this morning testifying when a pre-existing back condition was worsened, requiring immediate medical attention. The Lieutenant Governor was brought to CHCC as a precautionary measure. Lieutenant Governor Palacios is alert, engaging, and talking the whole time while getting attended to. CNMI Governor Ralph Torres sent media this afternoon saying, "It was an unfortunate situation today. First Lady Diane and I asked for the CNMI to pray for Lieutenant Governor Arnold Palacios. We extend our deepest thoughts and prayers for him for a full and speedy recovery." And still to come on Your News Leader, we find out about a new nonprofit, Hagu Foundation, and its mission, and an eyesore in the village of Dededo. These stories and more coming up next.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Don't need afraid, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
We all start somewhere. We start with the day. We start with him. We start with family. We start with a lesson. And the perfect wave. We start here and here. We start at your office and your home. We start with the connections that matter the most, the ones that move us, change us, inspire us. In an ever-expanding world, personal connections are what tie everything together, what ties us together. We all start somewhere. At GTA, we start with you.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam on Demand.
Illegal dump sites are present throughout the island and in the village of Dededo. No matter how much they clean up, more illegal trash, old sofas and beds, and abandoned cars take their place. With the details is Daniel Perez.
It was a surprise to a team working a utility trench behind St. Paul's Christian School in Dededo. Finding a new area full of trash, however, isn't anything new for Village Mayor Melissa Savares.
They called me in particular to say, there's so much trash. And I said, well, put it in one area, but right now you need hands to actually sift through those things. You can't just put it in a dump truck and haul it away. You need to sort through it.
Illegal dumping seems to be an endless problem on island, and Mayor Savares says offenders count on location and opportunity to improperly dump their trash.
Anytime that you have an isolated area that's dark, you're going to find illegal dumping, unless it's locked up, closed off, barricaded. You can drive to any pipeline and find the same what you saw in the southern part of the pipeline area. You drive to another pipeline area in the north, you'll see the same. We have groups that come in to volunteer. We've removed junk vehicles from those areas and white goods. But, again, you have irresponsible people that don't want to either pay for trash or take their waste to the proper places.
Mayor Savares says that they've cleaned up that particular area many times for both the safety of students and village residents. But no matter how much it gets cleaned, trash and other waste still gets dumped there.
As often as we've been getting purchase orders to remove these abandoned vehicles, we can't hit that place every time because there's other areas that haven't been touched as far as removing of the abandoned vehicles that we need to address. So we do what we can with the limited resources, but it's going to take the entire community.
Mayor Savares urges residents to not just dump their waste at any open lot they find and encourages them to dispose of them properly.
And if you're an irresponsible resident, start being responsible. Because even if you don't want to pay the $30 for trash service, there are places that you can take your recyclables to, or even your trash, right? And so it's about us all working together.
Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
How do we prevent suicide? That was the main focus of the Hagu Foundation Suicide Prevention and Awareness Roundtable event Tuesday. KUAM's Isaiah Uggan reports.
Guam is faced with a suicide epidemic as the island is the highest in the U.S. per capita to lose lives as a result of suicide. One newly embodied nonprofit group hopes to take down this devastating issue. The Hagu Foundation held a roundtable discussion on Tuesday at the Payless corporate office in Agana on how to actively engage the community in suicide awareness and prevention. It was developed by friends who were affected by suicide and attempts close to them, which was founded in late 2021. Landon Idolette is the president for the Hagu Foundation.
About 3 years, 4 years almost, since I had 2 run-ins with suicide about 2 weeks apart from each other. One was a friend, one was a stranger about to jump the cliff at Oka Point.
Guam endured 40 suicides in 2020, which was an increase from 31 in 2019. That's according to Dr. Annette David, the chair of the Guam State Epidemiological Outcome Work Group, or SO, who presented the island's suicide rates, statistics, and problem areas.
And that translates to, on average, 1 person dying from suicide every 9 days. So just about every week, there is a person who dies. In 2020, a person died from suicide in Guam.
The lives lost as a result of suicide on Guam is nearly 3 times larger compared to U.S. rates, according to David.
Our rate is more than double. It's more than twice the rate of the U.S. mainland.
Of the data presented, Chamorro and Chuukese are the highest at risk for suicide. Of the 40 mentioned above, 80% deaths were by hanging, over 60% occurred at home. Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center Director Teresa Ariola shared ending this disastrous problem could be through collaborative community efforts.
In venues like this and opportunities like this, that we make a dent in our community. Partnership, partnership, partnership. We can't do this alone. Guam Behavioral Health is the state mental health substance abuse authority on the island, but we can't do it all. We need the whole island to rally behind these efforts, such as how do we get to 0 suicide? 0. That should be our goal.
Reporting for KUAM News, Guahusi Isaiah Uggan.
In Decision 2022 news here on the island, a couple more packets have been picked up for a seat in the 37th Guam legislature. He's no stranger to the political arena. Will Castro had a packet signed off under his name for a senator on the Republican side of the ballot. Castro is the current chief of staff for the office of the governor in the CNMI and is a former 2-term senator on Guam. Jonathan Savares picked up a senator packet as a Democrat. The latest packets officially filled are Republican Sandra Reyes-Seo and Democrat Fred E. Bordalio Jr., who both are looking to run for senator. There are 87 days left until the primary election. For more information about Decision 2022 and to register to vote, visit gec.guam.gov. And in regional headlines, the CNMI is starting to see visitors' arrivals back in the thousands as a new policy is set to bring those numbers up. Latest data from the Marianas Visitors Authority in April shows that this year 5,593 visitors entered the island last month compared to just over 200 last April. A majority of those visitors, 4,251, came from South Korea. The NMI has 12 flights across 5 airlines to and from Busan and Seoul. Starting June 1st, non-vaccinated children under the age of 12 are no longer required from quarantine upon their return to Korea. MVA says in a media release that this change will allow families to more conventionally travel to the Marianas on summer vacation and holidays. Overall, 22,815 people have visited the NMI in FY 2022 compared to just 1,437 in FY 21. And in national headlines, NMI Congressman Gregorio Sablan questioned U.S. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona on the state of schools across Micronesia. He pressed the secretary on what the government plans to do to bring students back to campus with the support they need in person.
NMI Delegate Gregorio Sablan one-on-one with Education Secretary Miguel Cardona at a recent U.S. House Education and Labor hearing.
I have a growing interest in learning why, for example, Guam and the U.S. Virgin Islands have been placed on high risk for a decade or more, and trying to find out and understand why this program, why despite the effort that I know for at least for Guam, they continue to be placed in this situation.
Sablan and members of Congress examined the policies and priorities of the U.S. Department of Education His question comes on the heels of a recent visit to Guam by federal education officials who discussed the matter. The feds designated GDOE as a high-risk grantee in 2003 because of poor management and spending of federal funds. It forced the island's largest school system to hire a costly third-party fiduciary oversight to ensure GDOE is managing and spending federal dollars properly. Regionally, Sablan shared that the department approved $24 million worth of a supplemental education grant for the Marshall Islands and Federated States of Micronesia.
It is important that we, the United States, keep its commitments to the freely associated states.
Sablan also pressed the secretary on what the government will do to help schools bring back students and make up for lost time.
Short term, as you mentioned, the American Rescue Plan provided funds where districts can use the money to re-engage families. I've seen so many creative uses of the American Rescue Plan dollars. In Nevada, they created a team of parent liaisons that went out into the community to help families re-engage. In many cases, these students were also dealing with housing insecurity and food insecurity.
In the long term,
we're asking in our proposal for full service community schools. Those schools that did a better job re-engaging students were the schools that had a health center located there, that had access to food pantries for the students who were hungry, that had access to technology tools so students could be connected at home, and who had mental health support for students that were better developed than other schools.
Tomas Manglona for KUAM News.
It's great news for our island's community as Natibu Dance Academy marked 27 years of showcasing, practicing, and preserving island dance and culture. This past Sunday, members of the Natibu family held a special anniversary celebration at the Sheraton.
Students, that it is our obligation to give the experience of a lifetime to the one-time visitors from yesterday's show. And there's been nothing but awesome comments about the fact that they felt the intimacy of dance from the stage to the audience, no barriers there.
Dr. Benji Santiago and the Academy received a legislative resolution recognizing their efforts in Chamorro and Pacific dance instruction over 2 decades.
After the pandemic, to still have about 60 dancers, number one, is a feat. Number two, to put this production together and to see the supportive public, the supportive parents, the supportive students, their siblings, their cousins, everything. So it's an extension of our families, not just in Natibu, but throughout their families as well.
Stay tuned. Up next, Dave Delgado with your roundup of local sports, and still to come, this week's Giving Every Tuesday feature. Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
If you really want to find out what you're made of, you can forget the personality tests and social media quizzes. Because the only way you're ever going to know is by heading into the big, wild, raging, so damn beautiful it hurts world and finding out for yourself. Were you born to follow a path, or were you born free? These are the things we thought about when we made the new Grand Cherokee. Made for what you're made of.
Guam is truly a majestic place with its sheer natural beauty, wealth of beaches, and culturally rich landscape. Unfortunately, Guam has a real problem with unwanted invasive species. Help us in preventing their introduction and spread. The coconut rhinoceros beetle, the little fire ant, the African snail, Siam weed. These are just a few of the numerous invasives on Guam. Follow proper custom procedures when bringing plants and animals into Guam.
Help protect Guam. Tell your family and friends about invasive species.
To report invasive species, call 475-PEST.
And the next pick in the 2022 NBA draft is Johnny Davis. Let me tell you about Johnny Davis. This kid is special with a capital S. He's an incredible shooting guard.
The Toasted Cheddar Chalupa is back, only at Taco Bell.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Master Noli Kaluig, founder and chief instructor of the Guam Taekwondo Center, is celebrating 20 years of teaching Taekwondo on Guam. Master Noli held his 10th Taekwondo Pumpse Forms Tournament and martial arts demonstration at the Micronesia Mall. About 65 students from ages 6 years to adult competed in the Pumpse event.
Well, after a 2-year hiatus, we are back at the Micronesia Mall doing what we love to do best, showcasing the best of Taekwondo in the forms of doing our forms and kicks. We have white belts and junior yellow belts competing all the way to the adult level at black belt level.
In the black belt division, Alexa Aftana took the gold in the women's senior division, while Alessandra Leon Guerrero ruled the juniors division. The rest of the gold medalists include Jarvin Rubino, Josiah Perez, Abby Padayo, Gavin Twaddle, Maru Magbatang, Chloe Jaleko, Haley Diaz, Christian Fernandez, Kaylee Jianchan, and Connor Jianchan.
They can call us at 671-788-9623. Check out our Facebook or website, www.guamtaekwondo.com. Our classes are Mondays and Thursdays in the afternoons at the new Dededo Flea Market at the Farmers Co-op in Dededo.
A dozen local swimmers from the Manhoban Swim Club are preparing to compete in the 2022 Kyo Nakama Invitational Swim Meet to be held in Honolulu, Hawaii from July 1st through the 3rd as they continue to focus on training and reaching their competitive goals. For this national competition, GTA is committed to support their fundraising needs for the upcoming event. The local telecom company made a $1,000 donation to the club. In gratitude for their generous support, Manhoban swimmers washed a fleet of GTA vehicles. In rugby news, shout out to Dartmouth men's rugby player Matias Calvo and American International College men's player Keikoa Toves Tenorio for representing Guam at the College Rugby Championship May Madness Sevens 2022 held in New Orleans. The tournament was hosted by MLR's NOLA Gold. Games were played at the Shrine on Airline Stadium.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
I have a phone. I have no TV. Ooh, TV on phone. Get live TV on your phone or any device with DTV Plus from Docomo Pacific. Watch live channels or stream from your favorite apps on any device, all from your home Wi-Fi. No cable lines, no hassle, more savings. All for only $35 a month with your link bundle. DTV Plus, your cable TV on Wi-Fi.
Ooh, TV on phone. Sipping on a delicious drink from McDonald's may have you thinking, what makes these drinks just hit different? Don't overthink it. Just enjoy it. It's more than a drink. It's a McDonald's drink.
Cool off this summer with McDonald's Minute Maid Slushies. Try the new Tropical Mango or returning favorite, Strawberry Watermelon for a limited time.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Over 4. Let's raise our hands if we understand. Oh wait, Sam. I saw you were having a hard time with today's lesson. Why don't you stay back? I can help you with the lesson.
Okay, Mr. Red.
Aw, she's so cute. Look, she's playing teacher. This is a good sign.
Does everybody understand it?
Remember, there are 5 R's instead of 3, which consists. Nice. Bye, everyone. Be safe. Oh, is everything okay?
Yes, I just want to give you something. I hope you like it. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
On this Giving Every Tuesday segment, we feature Simon Sanchez High School Legacy Club.
To bring a sense of comfort and to leave a mark, Simon A. Sanchez High School's Legacy Club is donating over 100 soft items to Catholic Social Services and the Alley Shelter, which is under CSS. Cassandra Andrea Malalis, a member of Legacy Club, shared how the idea came about.
To create our legacy, because Legacy is known to leave their school year's mark throughout the island or the club. So we started off with a small idea, what should we do? What should we do? And someone came up with the idea of giving back to those in comfort and to those who honestly need these.
CSS provides services to persons with disabilities, abused adults and children, elderly, and those experiencing homelessness for over 40 years, which is inspired by the love and teachings of Christ. Blankets, pillows, plush toys, and socks were the items gathered in a span of 5 months by the English 12 class of Mrs. A.C. Jo Cruz, who advises Legacy Club at the home of the Sharks in Jigo. It was established 10 years ago to give back to the island before graduation in any way students want, according to Cruz. Ali Perez, another member of Legacy, explained to KUAM News that this project is a student-based effort which started in December 2021 and wrapped up recently. Both Malalis and Perez shared the goals of this initiative.
With the idea of Legacy, it really is just a student-led organization, and we want to give back to our community while also representing our school. We just want to be able to support those in need, to those who don't have a home, just want them to be protected and making sure that they're safe in this community.
It's safe to say this act of kindness is fulfilling the club's mission, as donations are set to be dropped off Thursday to CSS. Legacy 2022! For this week's Giving Every Tuesday report, for KUAM News, I'm Jonah Gincharfris.
And we wrap up the show with your birthday shout-outs. Here's Jason Solis.
It is a most definite happy birthday on the last day of May to Erica Opena. Happy birthday, Erica. Please enjoy your special day and may all your birthday wishes come true. This is coming from Mom and Alvin, who sent all of their love. Renzo Asher Sampson, happy birthday number 8 to my grandson. Hugs and kisses from Grandma and Grandpa Sampson. And they say, we miss you very much. And they say, love you, LUV. That's an extra special grandparents love. And XOXO. Gotta love it when you get love from Grandma and Grandpa. Belated birthday wishes going out tonight to Jaysha Padilla, born on May the 29th. Happy birthday to our dear Jaysha, and we hope you have a wonderful day doing what you love with the ones you love. May God continue to guide and bless you, and your family says we love you. William Pareto Jr., happy birthday to you once again from the village of Jotnya. This is coming from your sister Lonnie, your brother-in-law, Joseph Seaman, and the kids. And Bernie Ortega, who was born on May the 27th, have a blessed 92nd birthday. We love you, says your shout out. And Bernie, we hope you have a wonderful and blessed birthday also. Happy birthday to everyone from all your friends at KUAM and Cold Stone Creamery.
You can be a part of our Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by checking out KUAM.com. And that's our show. I'm Hannah Devonzo. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe, Guam.